demonic eyes, peekers and seekers, buried dolls, shifting and slamming objects, creepy cape, mirror image, crawling cryptid. These are the clips we'll be questioning today, only on Paranormal, True or False. If you enjoy this content of questioning everything, please subscribe. It really helps me out. And leave a like, because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Are these demonic eyes? As this reporter is speaking, he will blink and his eyes are altered. This video is being passed off as a reptilian shapeshifter. This just seems like a shutter speed issue with the camera and just a camera glitch. I'm not convinced this is demonic, a shapeshifter, or anything paranormal. Who or what is peeking around this corner? We can see a figure peeking around the doorway. What you just heard is the audio that's on that video. An intense growl, and then the scratching noises. Normally I don't include the audio with the video simply because there's no way for me to prove or disprove whether it's real or not. I included the audio only because in this one, the video ends before he ever goes down and investigates and tries to figure out what that is. He actually turns away from this scene. And it's possible that with the noises that we heard, it was just too scary to approach it. And I can't blame him for that. But at the same time, I'm not convinced it's real. I think this is potentially staged. It's a lot easier to stage if you don't get a close-up of whatever it is you're looking at. Why was this doll buried? As the investigator removes this rock, we'll see a doll inside. As they zoom in and get a closer look, we can see the eye of the doll, and then it tips over. It does look like the doll was completely submerged and buried under these rocks. Would it have fallen over with just them stomping around? Was it a windy day and wind managed to get into that crack and it was strong enough to blow it over? The other thing that is odd is it kind of appears like it moves towards the hole before it falls over. It also initially looked like its eyes were closed, but then when we get that close up, we can see that there's the right eye that it's open. The open right eye looks longer than the closed left eye. Was a string attached to the doll that makes it look like it moves forward before it falls over? The eye also appears like it opens as it moves towards the hole. So it's possible they used a string, pulled it forward, which caused that eyelid to shutter open because of movement, and then when they let go of the string, it falls off to one side. When I go back and look at all the rocks that are piled on to this doll, it just seems to me they'd have to move that rock to tie any type of string to that doll. The more I slow this down, zoom in, and analyze this, the creepier this clip gets. Additionally, that right eye looks so human-like, with the exception of the color. But could that eye be some type of a editing trick where they just copied and pasted a realistic eye onto that doll? I could see how this could be recreated, but that's a lot of work and I'm not convinced it's fake. Why are these objects shifting and slamming? As this investigator is exploring this abandoned building, a door starts slamming and vibrating against the door jamb. As he gets closer to it, it just keeps moving. Then suddenly he hears a noise to his left. Inside this room, that cabinet is just vibrating, moving, jumping, and the entire time that door is opening and closing and slamming on seemingly by itself. He starts to leave, and then he glances back and starts looking again at what's happening. He moves closer to the cabinet and he continues to see it rocking. He moves even closer, and all of a sudden the board on top falls. And the entire time he's watching this cabinet, that door is still slamming. So he turns towards it, but can't take his eyes off this cabinet. Well, that was certainly entertaining, but as you know, my rule of thumb is if there's too much activity, it's probably being faked. Because he never goes into that door, we never see if there's somebody on the other side of that door making all that noise and slamming that door. When he walks into this room, he doesn't pan the camera around, so chances are somebody is just squatted down on the left-hand side of that doorway and just using a string to pull that cabinet. I guess because I'm just so into the way Taps did things, where if they saw a noise, they would move towards it, they would try to debunk it. The fact that he doesn't pan the camera around the room and doesn't show us the potential of what could have caused this just makes me think it's staged. Even when he turns away right here to escape this cabinet, he raises the camera back up before he turns it to the left. That tells me that potentially somebody was sitting right there with a string. Is there enough room for someone to be standing on the right side and pulling the string, and that's why he turned the camera to the left to leave the room? More questions than answers with this one, but I'm not convinced this one's real. What caused this cape to move upwards? As we're in this barbershop or hair salon, we will see that blue cape move upwards as if somebody had just sat down. Now both capes are blowing because of an air vent that is causing them to move slightly. But that air vent doesn't explain this upward movement. Is it possible somebody pulled a string that was inserted between the chair back and the chair seat, and they just pulled it towards that doorway behind the chair? Is it possible that somebody attached a couple of hair clips to the top of that cape, which caused it to be heavy and pulling it down on the backside? It's moving in such a way that it looks like somebody just sat down. The only person that noticed it moving was the guy that was sitting behind the desk, and he immediately jumped up and went, "Oh, hell no," which startled and confused everybody else. I will admit that it is odd for the security camera to be so low, But I only think it's odd because it's a business. My security cameras at my house are actually fairly low, and if you watch nature's security camera, you'll see most of them are only a few feet off the ground. So yes, again, I can see how it could be faked using string or hair clips, but I'm not convinced it is fake. This just seems like a chill environment for a ghost to hang out in. Is this mirror possessed? This was one of those viral videos in which the little girl looks towards the mirror, but her image doesn't move. This is pretty creepy, but it's actually fake. This is an editing trick in which the little girl that's frozen in that mirror is actually a freeze frame of this footage. And they overlap the two of them and synchronize the two of them. I think the technique is called motion tracking, but I can't remember exactly what it's called. See, I can even add to this by adding my little skull image onto the base of the image in the mirror, and it would look something like this. And then I'd use some color matching techniques if I knew how to do that to blend it in so you couldn't see the sharp edges. What is this creepy cryptid? Late at night on this playground, a video captures a creepy creature. What is it? Is it someone in a costume? Is it a creature that is native to that area? Is it some type of a mannequin dressed up to look like a creepy figure? The jump away looks real. As it falls towards the ground, that just looks like gravity and something was dropped. It also has this optical illusion of which it looks like it was heading towards the right when it jumped, but somehow ends up with its head towards the left. I have zoomed in, changed the color, and it doesn't matter what I do, it just doesn't look any better. So your guess is as good as mine on this one. I'm not sure if this is real, fake, staged, I don't know. But because of how poor quality it is, I'm not convinced it's real. Be safe while investigating and get the bell icon on so you're notified of future uploads. Give Jim a thumbs up for the great music that he always provides for this channel. I always reply to comments, so leave me a comment and tell me what you think of all of these clips. Please subscribe because it really helps out the channel and I appreciate your support. Thanks for watching Paranormal, True or False.